So this is it's a lot going on here. A lot of people are talking. This is the bait, people. This is the bait again. This is the bait article you're all gonna fall for. I know it. Some of you, the people that watch this are, I know you guys are like, yeah, what? Fucking,
right.
He was on.
Stop.
What?
Just keep going. Go forward here.
Okay. So exclusive. Melvins Buzz Osborne addresses the controversy surrounding his 2018 appearance on Proudboy's founder Gavin Mcinnis. This is topical because we were just talking about Gavin Mcinnis's
keeps coming up
relationship with Michael Graves. This is not the same thing.
No.
Even remotely.
A little background. So Metal Sucks interviewed Buzz Osborne about an interview Buzz gave with Gavin 2 years ago.
This was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Not relevant.
Apparently you can't even watch this interview anymore.
Well, yeah, because it's copyrighted material.
Yeah, there was a copyright song on there. It was taken off YouTube.
Well, I think it's behind a paywall too, so you're not like very loud.
Don't pay for that.
Don't pay for it. Just though I know a lot of you people do already.
Metal Sucks claims to have seen the interview, and there was a little clip floating around of the interview as well that someone had gotten somehow.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how this came up today. Like, no one noticed that it had happened for 2 years.
Yeah, you think this would have come up, especially something like Buzzo.
But it's just something I saw come up on Twitter. They had that.
Yeah, it started quietly, then it kind of blew up a little bit.
And because in the clip, at least, like, Gavin's saying some like crazy shit about like lesbians now being in the mainstream.
Which he always does.
Punk lesbians being in the mainstream and how horrible that is.
Yeah, that's like normal for him though. That's like not weird for him.
He's like, isn't that horrible? And then like Buzz doesn't even address that part of the question. He just starts talking about how this movie had diversity in it and that he thought it was forced.
Yeah, he was kind of angry about this.
And he doesn't like forced diversity.
He was angry about this Disney movie called A Wrinkle in Time.
And then there were other people like claiming they talked about other things in the interview, but that was the only clip available, really. And there's other like rude interviews with Buzz you can pull up and be like, look at this thing you said about Kurt Cobain. And
yeah,
like,
Courtney Love. You get him going on Courtney Love. It's kind of enjoyable actually.
So I read a lot of tweets this week saying stuff, like, oh man, Melvins are over. Big business is the new Melvins, basically.
All right. So even on like the Doomstoner things I follow on Facebook, people are writing these guys off because he was because he appeared unknowingly.
Also, people brought up like there's some Nazi imagery.
All right, we'll get into that.
That release, that Melvins release, some other purported Nazi imagery, and also there was a photo of the band doing kind of like a Heil Hitler with Adolf stashes.
Can I explain all that stuff? Well,
you can go ahead. Give a brief. Let's keep it brief.
So, the Sieg Heiling stuff, they have a sense of humor. Like, they're not like going to be offended. They're old guys.
He was saying it was a bit. From Monty Python, that was a photo shoot. They used taken out of context. That was what Buzz said.
All right, listen, children, and I know all of you guys are like, yeah, like they're Sieg. I know all of you guys are like, yeah, they're Sieg Heiling. That's great. But for normal people, that maybe younger, kind of more wokey people that don't listen to this show at all,
most people react negatively.
Okay,
but
that. In my age, growing up, it was funny to do Nazi things. It wasn't especially if it was in the context of comedy. Monty Python would do that. Mel Brooks would do that. A lot of like people on TV, a lot of shows would be like, "Oh, look, Nazis, ha ha, funny," and they might even Sieg Heil. They'd have swastikas on. It was funny. These guys are old men. They're going to be like, "What?"
This was a very old picture.
Yeah, it was not weird back then. Okay,
so
it didn't mean you were a Nazi. Keith Moon used to go up and down dressed as a Nazi soldier, Sieg Heil, because he was fucking crazy.
Like, looking at it from the lens now, it's like, obviously you're an idiot if you allow a picture of yourself to be taken Sieg Heiling.
Metallica, there's pictures of Metallica doing it.
I said now, if you take a picture now. Now.
Yeah.
If I saw this, say, back when I was a teenager, which was not at that time of that photo, I would be like, what?
Probably from the 80s.
I'd probably think, like, what's wrong with these guys? But I wouldn't assume they were Nazis. I would just think they were making like
listen, if I knew who they were,
a bad joke.
If I knew who they were, it's like, oh, I know it's the Melvins. I know they're not going to be Nazis. If I saw Screwdriver doing it or something, or I saw like someone you expect to do it.
The photo was obviously meant to be funny.
Yes.
So it's like, Okay, yeah. Obviously, not everyone's going to think Sieg Heiling is
Why
funny.
don't you people get that?
They're obviously not doing it trying to show allegiance to the Nazi party. They're obviously doing it for a laugh.
Do you see what a liberal cuck I really am?
Okay. So, and as far as the Nazi imagery on the albums...
Okay. So, one of the albums, they did like a duality, kind of like yin and yang.
Do we want to show it on the screen?
Nah, it doesn't matter. No, we probably don't want to do that, actually.
Don't put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Because, it was like the Nazi on one side, the symbol, and then the Jewish star.
Which don't really have anything to do with each other, technically.
I mean, there's a connection.
There is. There's an unfortunate connection, but technically they don't really have anything to do with each other.
And then there was like a pentagram, I think, and a cross. And then it was the Black Panther symbol with the KKK symbol.
There's two extremes. It's like extremes. We're extreme, bro.
Very deep political statement.
It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that. Yeah, it's not that. It's not that complex, people. It's pretty juvenile. But whatever. They want to do that. That's fine. You get it. They're not. They're not. They're not Nazis. You know the Melvins aren't Nazis. You know that. That's
that's the thing.
You know that.
Is like, and there was also that thing about the death's head symbol.
Okay, can I explain the death's head? Death's head is not a Nazi symbol, just like the Iron Cross is not a Nazi. Death's head goes back to let me see. I've got it right here. Let's see. Actually, the death's head, or the Totenkopf, is a military emblem began under Frederick the Great, who formed a regiment of Hussar cavalry in the Prussian army, commanded by Colonel von Reusch. So it's a symbol. It's basically like a badass symbol. It's like, yeah, we're badass. And that goes back to Teutonic Germany, or whatever it's called, pre-Nazi Germany. The Nazis, of course, used that to commemorate. They put the SS battalion had that. But other bands have used, like Death in June, is that? Or Death in June Nazis? I don't know. Maybe they are.
I don't know. But, there's a lot of people you could cancel for using that. And the Iron
a lot of people
Cross,
have used it. A lot of people have used it.
And
Lemmy had it all over the place.
I mean, I think, these days, if you want to have no association, clearly have no association with Nazis, you obviously wouldn't use it, but it is like a charged, it's not, it's a hazy subject.
There used to be people used to do the Nazi thing to be bad as bikers and stuff, back in the 70s, even gangs in New York, Puerto Rican gangs were like swastikas and stuff, because it was it meant don't fuck with us. Obviously these Puerto Rican guys aren't Nazis, or even black guys. They wear swastika, those scary, those warriors kind of gang. They would literally go around with swastikas, and because Nazi meant don't fuck with us.
All right.
It wasn't oh my god, you're a Nazi back then. It was oh shit, don't fuck with those people. Lemmy used to wear swastikas and stuff. There's a picture of him with Hawkwind wearing a swastika, and it's a very controversial picture. People are oh my god, it's Lemmy's just he's just.
Lemmy got a lot of shit for all his Nazi memorabilia.
He likes collecting. By no means was Lemmy a Nazi. He likes collecting Nazi memorabilia. He likes the stuff, okay?
It is a little weird.
He likes it.
But I don't think he was a Nazi.
He's like the guy, and falling down. He's
don't cancel Lemmy.
We can't. You can't cancel dead people. I don't think you really can't.
You can try.
You can try, but it's hard. But think of all the other people, folks. Speaking of that did terrible things, and King Bozo doesn't even.
Let's stay on his crimes for the
moment.
We'll get
to that.
But some other things he talked about in the interview, which, the Nazi stuff, I think it's a bit overblown.
Yeah.
But he does come across on the interview with Gavin, as just your very stereotypical Gen Xer edgy asshole.
Which I can relate with.
Saying things like diversity has never helped anything in the arts.
Yeah. Yeah, he's being a little bit based. He's just
trying to offend, I think. And
he's an old man. So
in that stuff he was talking about forced diversity.
Yeah. Okay. So let me.
And he went on this rant saying how he hates diversity in Hollywood because he liked it back when it was cutthroat and only focused on profit, as if Hollywood has been a meritocracy this whole time and not a rampant nepotism.
Hollywood's a nepotism and it's a rapetocracy.
Yes,
that's what it's a fucking rapetocracy.
Yes,
it's a fucking child molester-tocracy. The intergalactic child molesters are coming from Phobos and possessing the souls of these Hollywood producers and they're molesting children, but that's another story. Listen, Hollywood is just fucking shit. There's no, but for you to be offended by a diverse movie, listen, they made him. He was kind of specifically offended. Now I'm not defending King Bozo for this because I don't agree with this, because it's just a waste of time. he was offended by watching this movie. He said him and his wife watched Wrinkle in Time, which is a famous book, I guess. A sci-fi book, and
it's like a kid's,
right.
like a young adult.
It was a
novel.
Disney thing, and they used.
I read it when I was a young adult.
Right, it was like a thing for young adults. Right, and they used like all black people. Is that what they did? They used all black people in it.
I don't know. I didn't see it, but I know, like, you know, it's like a young adult book written by someone who's white about a white family, and I guess they decided not to do the cast all white, and it was kind of like a conversation piece on press about the movie, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, why is that terrible?
Why is that like you know, as Samantha mentioned, like, you know, Hamilton." Which looks pretty fun.
I'm sure he hates Hamilton.
That looks pretty fun to me and harmless.
I mean, we have issues. I have issues politically with Hamilton.
I don't know. I think it's about Alexander Hamilton, right? What's political? Well, we won't get into that. But what's political about? It's the guy who lost the duel, right?
We won't discuss that. But I don't have a problem with there being black cast members playing Alexander Hamilton.
Watching Jesus Christ Superstar.
King Buzzo hates it.
Why? Jesus? It's not new.
Forced diversity.
It's not new. Jesus Christ Superstar. You know the Norman Jewison version of the TV version of the movie version of Jesus Christ Superstar. All the Jesus people are black. They're white. They're Chinese. It's how you would think the apostles should be.
That's the real meritocracy, is that maybe not all white people are the best people at singing and dancing. In a musical.
Yeah, in Broadway, you're gonna need diversity to make a complete show. In sports, you're gonna need diversity from all people from all countries and colors. They
used to do sports without diversity.
Yeah, and they weren't, like
now it's more of a
other people of other ethnicities, happen to be, sports happens to be a lot of their culture, so they might be good at it. It just doesn't make any sense, Buzzo.
All right,
just being angry about it. Listen, if the movie had all black people, it wasn't for you. Maybe it was like, we want to make a movie for black people, so black people could feel comfortable with the movie. Like, it's okay.
But not to make
to
make excuses for King Buzzo, but just reading the excerpts, he just comes across as your stereotypical Gen X, edgy, like, I'm offensive and that's my personality.
He's grouchier than he's a grouchy guy, it seems.
Like, that's what cool was back then in the early 90s, was to be offensive.
I guess to a certain extent. I mean, there were things. Like, there were politically correct things going on back then. I remember.
Times have changed, okay, and he has not changed with them. He's an old man.
So
he's still got that shtick going.
I don't feel like I don't want. There are people that want him canceled. I've seen the comments, and like on the Doom Stoner sites I follow on Facebook, there are people that maybe they were Melvin fans, maybe they weren't, but they're like, oh, I'm done with the Melvin. They're like, really? You're gonna write off the Melvins?
So this is more of a conversation now on cancel culture.
This is too far.
Because I think it's totally fine to discuss King Buzzo as an asshole. I think that's fine. We can talk about that all day.
There's a lot of reasons to think that. Nothing to do with Gavin Mcinnis. Nothing to do with Gavin Mcinnis.
You can say it's shitty. I mean, as per the Metal Sucks article, he had a very vague idea who Gavin was, that he was associated with Vice, which he wasn't at the time anymore, but he didn't even know that. Like,
he just knew he was the guy from Vice. He did not know about Proud Boys.
He made a very good point that he does not vet people that he interviews. It's not part of his thing.
And I believe him. I believe that this guy does not do that.
But why would he? It's like, he's like, I'm not vetting you right now, should I? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't, that's not something I do. Like, to him, most people, like, they thought of, Gavin Mcinnis as just a journalist with Vice for a long time, and that's clearly what he thought, even though that hadn't been true for a number of years. But he doesn't follow Vice.
I think he thought Gavin was like this edgy kind of guy. He didn't know what the Proud Boys were.
Vice was known as like an edgy publication.
Yeah, so that's what he was like. Oh yeah, I'll go on this, and he even said, he's like, oh yeah, I'll go on this.
And in talking to Metal Sucks, Buzz is obviously like, I'm not associated with the Proud Boys at all. I don't agree with that at all.
I don't think he knows what that is.
He said he didn't know about it until this.
I think like that Proud Boy stuff is like a younger man's game.
Except for Michael Graves.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. That you got a problem with me wearing a Dead Kennedy shirt? You should have a problem with Michael Graves joining the Proud Boys at the age of 50.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Fucking people, okay?
Anyway, yeah, he's not an extremely online guy. He doesn't know what's going on. He just gave an interview.
No, he's pretty authentic.
And, Gavin asked him a bunch of edgy questions, and Buzz was like, I'm an edgy guy, so this is right up my alley.
Buzz knows what he knows, and he's not looking for new things.
I mean, I'm not going to dispute that Buzz is an asshole. I think he is.
Yeah. No, if you see him on stage, he's not the kind of guy that, I've seen the Melvins a lot of times. He does not react with the crowd. He doesn't talk to the crowd. He doesn't smile to the crowd.
And I think it's even fine if you want to let that color your view of the Melvins. I mean, obviously, he's not the only member of the Melvins.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. They have many rotating members.
Dale Crover is kind of important to the Melvins. Is he a nice guy? I don't know.
He hangs out. I was at a show where he was just like.
What if Dale Crover's really cool?
Maybe, yeah.
And he would, and we're gonna cancel the Melvins just because of Buzz. Anyway, I would say even if you were not a big fan of the Melvins and you wanted to let this affect and be like, all right, I'm a little less likely to listen to Melvins now. Whatever. I think that personally, I think the Melvins are highly overrated. Yeah,
I was never a huge fan.
At the same time, I recognize that Stoner Witch is a great album, as well
Classic
as
song.
that other one. What's the other one with the children?
Comment down below. Jesus, why can't I think of that? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
With the dog.
Houdini.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, absolutely. Their 90s stuff is really good.
I think a lot of the other stuff they did is extremely just. Ugh.
Yeah, they make a lot of stuff. They release a lot of fucking albums. They release a lot of music. But I've seen them a lot of times.
Those albums are important. They cannot be replaced with fucking big business or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck that came from.
The Melvins are extremely unique, and
I don't know where the fuck that came from.
They're a cult band for a reason.
Listen, everyone, do you want to cancel the Smiths? Morrissey's an asshole. No, you want to listen to your Smiths.
I think Morrissey's a little worse.
Morrissey is documentedly worth.
Yes.
Okay, documentedly and not unapologetically.
Smiths and Morrissey's solo work.
But let's go for some dead people. Oh, your hero David Bowie. Oh, you all love David. Well, not you guys out. I know you guys that are throwing shit at me right now. I know you guys don't like David Bowie. But for you people that like David Bowie, let's see. What did David Bowie do? And nobody fucking wants to touch this. You know how many fucking young people he fucked? You know how many 15-year-olds he fucked?
Probably
Younger, okay? Because him and Mick Jagger, people like that, people that think they could do whatever the fuck they want because they're like, oh, I'm a rock star. I could fuck 15-year-olds. Okay? No, it's not good. Well, he did that, okay? All your rock heroes, Michael Jackson. We're not going to cancel Michael Jackson.
He got as close as you can get.
Yeah, he allegedly did things. We can't prove them. But a lot of your famous people, John Lennon, fucking wife beater.
I guess
horrifically.
You need to have just a little bit of nuance because on the one hand, when you do have a real monster, I think you can, and it's also on a scale of how important is this art? Okay.
Yeah.
As I lay dying.
That's not.
What's his name? Tries to kill his wife.
Yeah, what was his name?
Makes shitty metal.
Lambesis?
Tim Lambesis. Tries to kill his wife. Makes shitty metalcore.
Lamb of Besis.
Whatever.
Not important. Not missed.
He's out of prison now, and the band is reformed.
He's loose.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do with him.
Him and Pat O'Brien are loose.
Pat O'Brien is
Pat O'Brien's fine. He has some skulls. It's fine.
Pat O'Brien's fine.
People love that video, or they hated it. I don't know. They watched it.
That guy, fuck as I lay dying with that guy.
Don't care about them. He could stay in jail.
Shit ban anyway. It's we don't need to overlook his crimes to enjoy this great art.
But we value the Melvins.
But then on the other hand, you say take a film like Rosemary's Baby, whose director
another one
raped a 13-year-old
unapologetically.
A few Medicare circumstances, since I guess he was traumatized by his wife being murdered by Charles Manson, but.
Well, Charles Manson didn't do it. I like the version of that movie. Yeah, that was cool.
Okay, moving on. Yeah. Rosemary's Baby is a great movie. You cannot take that away. You cannot unring the bell.
Yeah.
You can watch it in context. You can watch it with the knowledge.
Usually, fucked up people are really talented a lot of times.
Okay, but taking it back home here, King Buzzo, what is his great crime? Being an asshole.
Yeah, and he unknowingly went on
an
Gavin.
Asshole. He is participating in asshole culture, I guess you could say, furthering asshole culture.
I'm not, I know he's probably not a nice guy, but I'm not offended by him. Whatever, I get it.
Yeah, I'd say I'm sure there are many people who are offended.
I'm a Gen Xer.
Some people who aren't offended.
Listen, I grew up with Eddie Murphy. I grew up with Andrew Dice Clay. I get it.
His harm is offending some people.
People that are easily offended by everything.
He made some great albums, and you can listen to them in context knowing that he's a complete asshole, or you could choose not to. But to advocate that Melvins is stricken from the record,
which is some of you are literally doing. I saw the comments, even the comments on you know who's hated more than we are? Metal Sucks. My God, people fucking hate them. Look at I could just quickly go over the comments down here. People fucking hate these guys. By the way, there's all. I should be.
Do not.
Going down there. Oh no, I got it. Yeah, But yeah, there you go. So like that, there's that.
Yeah, that's clearly pledging support to Nazis.
Yeah, we read through this whole thing. But if you go down to the comments here, like, people fucking hate these guys. It's like, can you guys give me as much hate as these guys get? Can you try?
I'm honestly surprised that Buzz agreed to do this.
Well, you need to clear his name.
Yes, because also apparently people were going on maybe their Facebook page and leaving comments.
Yeah, okay, they were deleting them because they said they were like inflammatory, defamatory.
Or like not true, like calling them Nazis or like,
right.
I don't know.
Which is not true.
Or saying he supports the Proudboy.
Which is not true.
And Gavin. And he's like,
which is not true. Listen, we talked about Michael Graves last. This guy is not Michael Graves.
Yes.
Not even close.
Go watch our Michael Graves video.
Yeah.
To see what King Buzz is not.
Oh my God, you're all. Oh, I'm talking about Michael Graves again, all you guys. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So again, I think it's totally fine to talk about him being an asshole. Yeah. I believe in canceling the bad people.
There's a lot of people that are criminals.
The real criminals.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, you can cancel him.
But he's a fucking creep. Harvey Weinstein, real creep.
But I guess it's like when it comes to cancellation, so like, yeah, no one's gonna hire Kevin Spacey for a new project, and I don't support them doing that. But, can you not watch, American Beauty anymore?
I think people don't. Like, I think people don't.
I mean, it's not.
Now they see him.
I was reaching. I thought that movie's not that great. It's fine. But it's like, what's a great performance by Kevin Spacey in a great movie?
Well, you know, it's weird, though. Like, we watch him now and we're just creeped out by him. Because his acting was so good. Like, now we look at it and we think it's real. Like, we're like, oh, my God. That's when we see it and we're scared of him. Because he always acts like a creep, right? Like, Kevin Spacey is usually like a creep in a lot of them. And all of these movies that people thought were great are just gone now. Nobody watches them anymore. His show.
What's a great movie?
Remember he had that.
So the show. The President Show.
The one with the suspects, the usual suspects.
Oh, the usual suspects.
People like that one. Does that anyone watch that one anymore?
People still watch
Do
that,
they?
right?
But when we see him now, like even me, like I'm like, ugh. Like he makes me feel dirty.
Thing. Like, if you have that visual reaction where you can't enjoy something now because you know that
he's a face.
Because that person is involved and is a monster.
But you could watch a Weinstein
that's
movie.
What's cancelable.
You're not going to know, right?
That's what we cancel, is when what they have done is so repulsive and bad that you can't even watch it without feeling guilty.
Yeah, we just the way he acts, it's like it's real. It's like it's in the movies with you.
All right, let's get off Kevin Spacey.
But but here's someone that shouldn't be canceled. Louis C.K. Free Louis C.K. Okay.
All right, shut up right now.
Okay. Free Louis C.K.
Disagree.
Okay, fine. You have the right to disagree. I don't agree that I think Louis C.K. should be back in full action. Okay, full action. He was great.
I mean,
he was great.
Again, I feel like my thing like this. It's like I can't stop as I lay dying. But
no, they're not important.
I think a lot of people don't know about what happened.
Also, he did something illegal. He literally did something illegal.
Yeah, but he served his time.
Which wasn't enough. I think he's out already.
He served his time. He's a free man. And, should he not be allowed to make a living?
I feel like he did 5 months, that fucking guy.
Yeah, it seemed really short.
Yeah. You usually get 20 years for that shit.
I don't know. It's a complicated subject. But when it comes to something where your crime is just being offensive, you know.
You can't cancel Buzzo. We can't cancel Buzzo. He's just.
I remember there was this death metal band that got kind of canceled, Sanguisabog.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And it was because they made a tweet that said that they were support trans people and women in the scene, and then someone pointed out that their lyrics were all violence against a woman, and I think maybe one of the members was in a porno grind band or something.
Oh, that was that band, right? The guy with the porno grind. Yeah, I remember that. We did a thing on that.
No, we didn't.
We didn't do anything on Sanguisabog?
Nope.
We did something on some band that did some fucked up shit once. I can't remember. It's in one of our earlier episodes. And
so they got kind of minorly canceled for that. I think part of it mostly is the hypocrisy. So I lost my train of thought on this.
Well, yeah. Well, you should let me say a few things. Yeah, you can't cancel Buzzo over this. We know he's an ass. I could relate to his assholeness. I grew up in that era. I understand everything he's saying. Yeah, he's a little further, and not every Gen Xer acts like him. Not every guy is as black-pilled as someone like him. We're not all like that. But like, I am not nearly offended by anything he says. I'm like, he's just, I know a lot of people like that. He's harmless. There's no reason to cancel one of your favorite bands, and you people are doing it. Like, you people are. I saw it. Like, it's not. I'm not. We're not exaggerating here. Like, this is real.
Well, I remember when I first saw this come up, people were saying, like, he had said the thing about, punk lesbians being mainstream culture now, and like as if that was a bad thing. And I don't even know what Gavin's talking about when he says that.
Gavin always says stuff like that.
But yeah, it was like secondhand information getting tweeted, and it's like Buzz didn't even say anything
playing a game of telephone
about lesbians.
Yeah, just playing a game of telephone. It's like, oh, look what Buzz said. Yeah, when Gavin said it. Maybe they didn't.
I mean, he didn't push back on Gavin on it, but he was probably just not even listening. He's like, this guy just said a bunch of weird shit. Yeah, I'm sure. I would just say a bunch of weird shit that's edgy as well.
I bet Buzzo doesn't agree with that. He's kind of a guy who's been on the scene. He's been a lot of places. Like, I don't think that's gonna really.
He looks like a punk lesbian.
Like, he's not. You look like a punk lesbian. You look like an aging punk lesbian. But like, don't be like, if we're gonna be offended by Buzzo being on Gavin Mcinnis, we should send it, slam a fucking asteroid into the world. Send the fucking nukes now.
We can't get bothered by people being offended, because it's like everyone will find something offensive.
Yeah,
that's just inevitable. But
yeah, everyone did something cancelable. Everyone, even you, especially you people out there saying things about me. I know you did things.
But yes, I do think, like, people were just so quick to throw all the Melvins out just for Buzz.
I saw it.
Just for what Buzz
I couldn't
did.
believe it. I couldn't. The Melvins of all people. People worship these guys. I couldn't believe it.
Well, I don't think anyone who worships the Melvins cares. I feel like all Melvins fans are like kind of nihilistic and unbalanced.
I want to find Matt's opinion. Matt is the biggest Melvins fan in the world. I want to hear. I put it up on our Facebook. I wanted him to hopefully chime in. I was hoping maybe he would. Because no one's a bigger Melvins fan than him. I've been to many Melvins shows with him, and so I want to find out what he thinks about it.
But again, I don't want to. He's an asshole. I don't want to be,
Yeah, I don't mind it though. He's got the right to be an asshole.
Everyone has the right to be an asshole,
especially us Gen Xers.
But I guess the issue here is he's an asshole with a platform. And do we try to deplatform him?
No.
But the thing is like, all this does is because what he's doing, he's not committing crimes. He's just being offensive. So he only gets canceled into like the far, not even left, because this isn't a far left thing necessarily. It's like the far woke areas of the internet.
Yeah, it's not even. Yeah, it's just woke.
Like, it's not necessarily a left thing to cancel somebody like this for this kind of thing.
It's like, I'm going to be offended because I need something to be offended over, and I'm supposed to be offended by offensive things.
I mean, I think they're genuine. Hopefully, they actually are.
Want to be offended by things.
I'm mildly offended by him saying stuff like forced diversity and like diversity is bad.
Yeah, that's just kind of childish. Like, I'm not offended by it. I'm like, dude. I'm like, what's the problem? It's not affecting your life. Like I said, that movie you're complaining about, it's not for you.
Well, he had to watch it. I don't know why he went to see it, but
you know what happens when we watch movies we don't like. We don't watch them anymore. We don't sit through them. That's what we do. But they make movies all the time. A lot of them suck. We don't watch them. We don't watch them.
Yeah.
We don't watch them. We don't have to watch them. It's not for you.
This whole thing is just shitty. It's just like,
yeah, and it's there's a lot of people in this club. It's like saying we're talking about Gene. It's like Gene Simmons, sexual harassment. Gene Simmons is like, really? You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't sexual harass. You can't Me Too Gene Simmons. You can't do it. You can't do it.
I mean, I'm sure he's assaulted people.
A lot of people have. In the 1970s
most of the
era,
music industry, yes, could be heavily
all
canceled.
All of them. Or Hollywood. Hollywood producers with their casting couch.
That's not in question.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's like everyone in these positions of power, they think they're. I mean. Even like Terry Crews, King. They fucking fucked with Terry. Would you fuck with Terry Crews? You gotta have some balls on you.
If you've got his whole career in your hands, then you can.
It's like, hey, Terry Crews, it's like, you're gonna.
Buzz is not really in a position of power here. The only power he has is having a voice and being able to go on an interview.
Yeah.
and say things that are offensive and amplify offensive things. That's his power.
People care about this because there's a lot of like kind of switched on people that like the Melvins, right? I know a lot of people that like the Melvins, and they tend to be very like switched on, very radical people mostly. I mean, there's all kinds of Melvins fans, but they're gonna like this is gonna hit them, and they're gonna try to react. Especially younger Melvins fans, because Melvins could still have young fans. I think they can appeal to young people because they're like a buzz. No pun intended. They're like a buzz band, They're that band that influenced Nirvana. Like they're that, historical band you're supposed to know about if you're cool. Right? They've always been that way. Even when I was a kid, like they've always been that way. The in band.
Yeah, they're like so they've got this like eternal hipness to them.
Yes, eternal hipness that never gets old.
And so it's disappointing that behind the eternal hipness is not an eternally hip guy. It's an old guy.
Well, he's an old man.
Whose views have aged poorly. Yeah. This kind of like fuck your society and your polite, discourse.
Yeah,
like here I am with some truth bombs.
Yeah, I get
it.
I get it. It's not it's fine. He could do that.
It's old. Like it's just he's an old guy. Like
yeah, he's not trying to like.
If you don't want to listen to Gen Xers music, then you have to.
We are Gen Xers. We don't give a fuck about a lot of the shit that offends you. We don't give a fuck. We can't. We grew up with Eddie Murphy and Sam Kinison and Andrew Dice Clay, and these guys. If you think Buzzo's offensive, listen to Eddie Murphy's Raw. Listen to Delirious. Listen to just the first track of Delirious. This is what we grew up on. Okay, that's why words don't offend us, and that's the angle.
All right, I think we should just end. With a comment on Gavin's hair.
Oh, what is? Yeah, he didn't do his hair.
He like messed his hair up just to talk to the Melvins.
Oh,
guy.
I see what he was doing. Okay, I get it.
He's like, you got funny hair. Well, I've got funny hair. I'm Gavin Mcinnis.
Get it. I get it. See, I remember to do this. Okay.